Hello everyone, so I'm still in Peru at my hotel. Do excuse any background noise because I'm by a busy street, but I felt a strong calling to do this video just to kind of explain a bit more about my background and what led me to Peru to do this master plant Dieta and what that's all been about before I share my video diaries. So for those of you that have been following me a while, you might have read my blog post and learnt a bit about my kind of journey over the last 4 years. For those of you that are new to my account, to give you a little bit of an insight, at the age of 16 I moved out of the family home and began living in a party house where I got really hooked into drugs and alcohol and began drug dealing. I used to shoplift, I used to get into fights, I overdosed a few times. I then ended up working as a dominatrix to save up money to go to Australia, where I thought it would be a new life, new start. Got to Australia at 23 and just fell into the same habits: drugs, partying, corporate job. And then basically went back into the adult industry to pay for my habits. Overdosed again. It was just really, really dark. I was constantly self-sabotaging, and through kind of a lot of self-discovery work, I then found out that it had a lot to do with childhood trauma, unresolved childhood trauma. I come from a family that struggle with addiction and alcohol abuse, and there's a lot of emotional unavailability, a lot of anger issues, and all of this kind of stuff had been suppressed and blacked out and blocked out. And basically I spiraled into an existential crisis back in 2016, where I was literally like, who am I? What the fuck am I doing? I hate my life. I don't want to be here anymore. And I went on a massive bender, which made me feel like I was going to die. I was literally like face down on my bathroom floor thinking, this is it. And on that day, something within me woke up and was just like, look at yourself. Who are you? And I just knew then that I didn't want to treat myself in that way anymore. And in the coming months after that, I had a friend come to me and suggest that I should try ayahuasca. I went for my first 2 ceremonies in Australia, and from then on my life just completely transformed. Through the integration, about 3 months after my first 2 ceremonies, my world had been completely changed. I'd seen a new reality to life. And I realised that the corporate job I was in was not for me. I was living a lie. I was persuading myself that it was what I wanted when it wasn't. And so I quit my job, I got rid of all my things and just hit the roads of Australia, living out of my car. I slept in my car and a tent on and off for about 3 months, whilst also doing some work exchange for accommodation. And I chose to give up alcohol. I'd stopped doing drugs. And I started doing little cleaning jobs up and down the East Coast just to kind of pave my way, and continued working deeply with plant medicine, as well as doing other sort of deep introspective work, meditation. I've done 2 10-day Vipassana retreats, which is complete silence and deep meditation. I then decided to work with Kundalini Yoga and completed a 240-hour teacher training course, which completely transformed my life as well. And just really spent time in isolation, alone in the forest, breaking away from everything and anything I was attached to, which helped me to explore the feelings, emotions, and habits that I had going on in my life. Things like guilt towards not working an everyday job, pressure of the expectations of other people because I had broken away from an everyday job, the scare, the worry, the fear of not having a monthly income because I was so conditioned to have that coming in all the time. Feeling like I was a burden when I was around people. It was just so many deep internal fears, worries, limitations that came to the surface, and there was no way I would have been able to review and see them had I stayed in my normal 9-to-5 job, in my comfortable flat, in the same places I was always going, doing the same things to just keep me numb and blocked off from my truth. So during that process, that whole process, which has been for the last 4 years now, on and off, I've been traveling here, there and everywhere, really just exploring myself in different modalities to help me connect with my inner child, move through trauma, heal wounds, and find my gifts, find my inner strength, my inner power, and find what I really love, and most importantly, become my own best friend. It's then led me to now doing this Master Plant Dieta, which I've just completed in Peru. A sequence of events have led me to this path. I thought I was done with ayahuasca. I'd done 16 ceremonies as of last year, and I was like, that's it, I don't need to do any more. I've learned what I need to learn. It's now time to really begin sort of creating integration guidance and support for other people, because I'd learned so much on the journey I'd been on. But no, the medicine wasn't done with me. I had a few kind of insights come up and lots of visions around going to Peru, and then a friend came to me and said that they were doing a Master Plant Dieta in Peru in February, and it just felt like the right thing. I felt such a strong calling. So I got rid of all my things again. I had to give up jobs that I really wanted to do. I got rid of my apartment. I was living with my grandma for a month just so that I could use money to pay for the trip. And now really everything's up in the air, all for this trip basically, which I knew I had to do, and I wasn't wrong. The Master Plant Dieta has entailed basically doing 11 days of deep medicine work in the Amazon jungle. I stayed in a tambo in isolation in the Amazon forest, and worked with ayahuasca 5 nights. The 5th ayahuasca ceremony was in the daylight, and we helped to make the medicine. We bashed the vine, we picked the Chaka-Runa leaves, we saw how it was brewed, and we got to drink this medicine in the daylight, which I will share with you at some point. We were also on a really strict diet of brown rice and boiled potatoes twice a day. Sometimes we get a bit of cucumber or avocado and carrot thrown in, but basically the point of this was to really help us cleanse, detoxify, and connect with the medicines and help see what they wanted to teach us or show us. And we also drank a litre of plant mixture every day, which consisted of cat's claw, rennekia, and bobinsana, which is heart opening, and the others help to clear parasites, detoxify, cleanse and heal tissue, bones, etc. Magical medicines which also help us to connect with the ayahuasca and open up to things like the rapé and the sananga as well. Every ayahuasca ceremony we worked with rapé really closely, which is a tobacco snuff, and we would normally have 3 rounds of rapé with each ceremony. And yeah, the whole experience was incredibly powerful. Crazy dreams, crazy visions, crazy insights, some sleepless nights, just amazing connection to nature, next level connection with the wildlife and everything in Peru whilst on these medicines. So much to share. I guess the biggest thing that I've got from this Master Plant Dieta is how much I want to share around integration, because we can go away on these retreats. It doesn't have to be plant medicine, it can be any kind of like self-development retreat, and learn so much about ourselves, feel empowered, realize how we want to change and do different things, and then we go back to our normal everyday lives and we forget it all, or we become too scared, it feels too much, and we feel like we're in la la land and it's just not real. And there is a way through this, but I feel sometimes people need a bit more support and guidance, particularly those who can't break away like I could, because they've got businesses, responsibilities and commitments. And I want to be able to support people because I've been on this path, and I do understand where the struggles come up, the thoughts, feelings and emotions that maybe we're not aware of, that maybe I can help see. And for me, it's really helped strengthen my passion on doing this, and being able to share my truth and my message on the journey that I've been on. So over the coming weeks, I'll share some of my video diaries with you. Feel free to message me if you've got any questions. I love talking about this kind of stuff. And yeah, I guess for me now, I have lots of integrating to do, lots of processing to do. The journey has only just begun yet again after working with medicines on such a deep level. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of twists and turns over the next year. This medicine work will continue for a long time. It's not just during ceremony. But thanks for listening, and I'll be posting more very soon.